So, part 7. A whole bunch of stuff just gets built at once. Although, I didn't actually want warriors there. It's the same old problem of not paying careful enough attention to what's going on. So here I'm doing a little bit of cleanup here, making sure everybody's producing settlers as desired. One of the ways you can tell that the game's progressing very well is that I have less to say now. Just watching things move right along. I think I want to build a city up there. But the settler I'm controlling is not really where I... Oh! I thought it was, so it's built a city where I don't want it. So I'm going to have to go to the autosave now. So you'll get to see that. The autosave in Civilization 3 saved me here because it's only done turn by turn by default. It's not, every 1,000 years or whatever, so I am very much helped by it, but here I'm trying to get out of it. See, I'm checking my governor, see if the governor can disband the city for me. But not really. Actually, one thing you could do to solve the production problem probably is go through that and see if you can get the governor to always follow your orders for production. It's just kind of a pain. So 1025 is the previous autosave. So I just moved the settler there, and now that settler is supposed to move, and then the next turn I'll build a city with it. Meanwhile, this other settler will go down to the southwest to see what's down there. So that's the settler I want. I'm being more careful this time. I found the city of Ravinia up there, where I actually want it. There, largest nation in the world. That's us. Right at the top, the glorious Romans. So, my strategy is finally starting to pan out. Our workers have completed a Rome to bring gems into Rome. Good. That's more or less my plan. So where will we go with this settler? Well, first of all, we have to make sure that the production is switched to worker. Build up those mines there. So, what do we got here? We have to... Yes. So I'm going to take that settler down to the southwest there. I'm not going to build an outpost, though. Outposts are basically military bases, which have been available from the very beginning of Civilization. Civilization 1 had the fortresses, of course, and Civilization 2 had the choice of fortress or airbase. And obviously the fortresses will support land units, the airbases will support either land units or aircraft. Although they don't support any particular protection for the land units, of course. The fact is, you kind of have to have at least one land unit in an air base protect it from attack. So I can't decide what to do here, because you notice I have a little bit of sand over there. Beachland, basically. Not really even desert. And because of the unforgiving nature of Civilization 3, you don't really want to build cities there as a rule, because then you can't produce food, essentially, unless you build harbors. And at the moment, I don't have the civilization advances to do that. You don't have seafaring in Civilization 3, but you do have map making, like in Civilization 1. So that in addition to giving you improved ships, that also gives you the ability to build harbors. One distinct feature of Civilization 3 is that you have ships from the very beginning of the game. You don't need to have map making to build your most basic ships. But I have not built any ships because I'm still building up the land here. So Hispalis. Notice there's a little bit of fish over there. So maybe I should have built it closer to the fish, but as its cultural influence expands, it'll be able to fish there. So settler again. See, they've switched this warrior and spearman and all this, and I don't want that. I'm going to have to go back and take care of that. Now here is a barbarian city, and they've killed my settler, so now I'm actually going to need some military units, so I guess it's for the best that those cities switch to military production. In fact, I'm going to deliberately switch to archers here. From Civilization 2 onwards, archers are among my favorite military units. Which maybe is irrationality on my part, because they're not actually as effective in the Civilization games as they would have been in real life. Oh, what a lot of people don't understand about archers is that the reason they were phased out in Europe is that it took too long to train them. It wasn't that they weren't effective enough, it was just that you couldn't build large modern conscript armies with them because they simply were too elite. Whereas muskets were much simpler. Even if they're very cumbersome by modern standards, they were much less cumbersome than learning how to use a bow and arrow, at least effectively. That's counterintuitive to me also, because there are a lot more steps to preparing and firing a musket. So I suppose it must have been the aim. So I'm going through my advisors here, seeing what I can do to improve the efficiency of my society. They cover things rather differently. I mean, notice you don't have a tax rate, you only have a luxuries and science rate, and the tax rate is adjusted accordingly. I'm pondering whether to increase the science rate because the science advisor is criticizing me. But in the end, I decide not to. Because notice writing is coming in 10 turns, and for the pre-industrial society, that's really not so bad. Now, she is saying I should acquire more resources. She is right. That's why I'm expanding like crazy. So once again, we're nearing the end of this part. And things are going quite well. So, see you in the next video.